I'm salty, guys.
Yeah,
I
you're
am.
really salty. And you know, and as BG pointed out, it's not just with Final Fantasy VII Remake. You know, they did it to DQ11. They've done it to other titles.
And it's not just Square.
No, it is not just Square.
Not just Square.
No.
And it's not just RPGs. It's not just any one particular genre. It's across the board that people are doing this BS. And there's a reason.
Big reason.
And we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Right here with this PC Gamer article. Why is it hard to port a game to the PC? You want to hit this one, baby?
Sure.
This is Teal's turn.
Okay. So most games are written in some sort of engine that works really well with the PC, but they're written for the PlayStation. They're written for the Xbox. They're written for whatever Nintendo's putting out.
Right. You're talking specifically about the code base that the engine's bit of the game is built on.
they create this game with all those different codes and links to play in that one console.
Yeah.
Then they decide, oh, well, we need to make it available on multiple platforms, so let's put it on the PC. So now they have to reverse engineer what they've done, bring it to the PC, and try to make it play as well as it does on their own console.
Please remember, guys, when you're working on a console like the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox, whatevs, you have a very streamlined spec sheet. You have a certain CPU, a certain GPU, and you might have one or two things different depending on if it's the pro version or not.
Right.
But it's pretty much you know what you have. So you're going to make your game with its code base. Code base isn't necessarily the same thing as an engine, by the way. Code base is the thing that runs on top of the engine that drives the game. So for example, Arkham Knight right here. Arkham Knight has a code base that runs on top of that engine. Final Fantasy VII Remake had a code base that ran on top of the Unreal Engine 4. So Final Fantasy VII Remake's code base was made for the PlayStation 4.
Yes. So now you're going to, as I said, reverse engineer it and bring it back to the PC.
Right.
Yeah, of course nothing's going to go wrong. Absolutely nothing. The two are totally in sync. You can totally move from one to the other smoothly and seamlessly.
With all the different possible combinations of CPU, RAM, GPU.
Yeah.
I feel like we just did a Borat joke.
We did.
We did a Borat joke. He's not very nice.
So that, in a nutshell, is why the process doesn't work. Now let's dig deeper, shall we?
Oh, here it comes, guys. We talked about this. So a lot of the times when we talk about what we're going to do in our forums, we warn the other one if they're about to go on a tear. Teal's about to go on a tear.
I'm about to go on a tear, guys. So bring out your second bag of popcorn.
Hope it's caramel, because it's going to get sticky.
It is. The reason behind all of these issues, why we can't port well to PC from a console, is because the hardware makers decided that. All of this is driven by decisions that the hardware makers made 5 to 7 years ago. They decided that it was more in their best interest to streamline production and save on costs to make their individual console only play games written for that console. To not have games, to not even entertain games that were for multiple platforms.
Proprietary, basically. Proprietary.
Yes.
Code. That's what Teal is talking about.
And so back at 10 years ago, 12 years ago, whatever, when we had games that were released for multiple platforms, hey, we got the version on PlayStation, we got the Xbox version, we got this and that, the PC version. That is done. We're not there anymore.
Right.
The hardware makers decided that it was in their best interest, and it is, to only entertain titles that are specifically for their hardware.
Yep.
Software developers did not get the memo.
No.
they continue to try to develop games for multiple platforms. And as you can see, utter failure. It doesn't work.
BG,
Hardware does not support it.
BG, where'd you think they got the idea? Apple's been doing this for decades. Why wouldn't anyone else look at Apple and go, shit, we can make our shit proprietary?
Mm-hmm.
And if our shit's proprietary and other people's shit doesn't run on it unless it's written specifically for our shit, I mean, that's literally what Apple does. So, yeah.
So software developers, game makers, if you want today to continue to make a game that's cross-platform, you need 3 different dev teams.
Oh boy.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
So, if you want to be mad about something, mad that the whole cross-platform thing has gone away,
Yep.
then be mad at the hardware makers.
Oh yeah.
Personally, I saw this coming 15 years ago. I saw it coming 15 years ago when I was doing a case study in business school on this. And specifically was looking at a certain game. I'm not going to talk about what it is because I don't want to step on toes. Yeah. But this game was made for 3 different platforms. And the game had different things depending on the platform it was on.
I know exactly which game you're talking about.
And people were upset.
Yes.
Because you play it on PlayStation, and then you play it on Microsoft, Xbox.
Yeah.
And different items came up.
Mm-hmm.
You had different items. Yep. You had a different area opened up than what was on the PlayStation. You had different outfits.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you played it on the whatever the Nintendo
on the PC,
version,
yeah, on the PC, yeah.
It was Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Nintendo console.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah, different.
And that went over like a lead balloon.
Yeah. This is not the same thing that Teal is talking about, but if you recall, Soul Calibur 2 had different characters depending on which version of the game you played.
Yeah.
Different game, not the one she was talking about that she did her case study on, but same concept. Like, you got to play Link if you had the Nintendo version.
Yeah.
So, yeah, how's that for assholes? Anyway.
So, I knew the days of cross-platform were numbered, and I'm absolutely right. And with the way technology is going at this point, you're not gonna go back to those days.
Right.
You are going to pick a system and stick with it. Develop for that system, market for that system. People will buy that system and play that game. In the conversation. That's where we are now.
And that's where we're at. I believe you said you had an unpopular opinion.
Yeah, that was my unpopular opinion.
That was the unpopular opinion?
That was the unpopular opinion,
okay.
that this is where we're at, and this is the reality, and deal with it.
Now, I have a counterpoint, but at the same time, a different point. So here we go. There we go. My belief now at this point, and this is, again, this is my limited understanding of the entirety of console porting and PC porting. But given everything that Teal said, and given what we read about in these articles to prepare for this forum, I am now under the opinion that games that need to go cross-platform, for whatever reason, should first be developed for the PC. Everything should be done PC, nothing else. Once you have your game ready for the PC and it runs on the PC and you have your spec sheet and you know what the game can and cannot do on the PC, then start looking at your console ports. You're still going to have all that work that Teal's talking about, all of it.
A lot of work.
But to me, logically speaking, I could be wrong, it would be easier to go PC to console than console to PC. You still have to worry about changes to code base. You have to worry about all the different pieces, parts that go from, I mean, look at running on the PlayStation. It's a Linux-based system. So if you're running it on PC, you're going from a Windows-based system to a Linux-based system.
Sure.
Those are things that have to be considered. It's always easier to go PC to Xbox than PC to PlayStation. It's always easier to go Xbox to PC than PlayStation to PC. But to me, it seems like it'd be easier to start the PC and then go out. Don't even ask me about Nintendo. I have no freaking clue.
No,
I think literally they just rub a lamp until a genie comes out and makes the game happen.
Probably.
Yeah.